Our Gen Con coverage is brought to you by Hit Point Press. From animated spell and tarot cards to their breathtaking Humblewood campaign setting and adventure, Hit Point Press is your one-stop shop for amazing 5e content. Check out our links below for all the gaming goodness.
We are now at the Chaosium booth with Michael, the producer of the Call of Cthulhu by Gaslight book. Hey, tell us all about it.
Hi, yeah, so this is Cthulhu by Gaslight, and this is a brand new book for Call of Cthulhu. It has been released in special pre-release here at Gen Con. It's been really popular, and it's going to go out in general release later this year. And what it is, it's a special setting for Call of Cthulhu. The main setting for Call of Cthulhu is the 1920s. This is a setting in the 1890s in London, so the time of Jack the Ripper and so on.
That's cool.
And it's also a standalone book, so you don't actually need to own the core Call of Cthulhu rules to be able to play this one here. You can generate characters and play straight from this book.
So if they're brand new players to Call of Cthulhu, they can just get this book and run with it.
They could indeed. Though if you're a brand new player to Call of Cthulhu, you've never played before, we have the Call of Cthulhu starter set. And the Call of Cthulhu starter set is a really great way to introduce you to the game. It even has, and I think this is a really cool feature, the first book, you open the box, the first book is a solo adventure that teaches you the rules to the game. So while you're playing through the solo adventure, you're learning about the setting, you're learning about the Call of Cthulhu rules, and by the time you finish playing it, your character is maybe dead or insane.
It is Call of Cthulhu.
But you've learned how to play the game, and you can just pick it up from there. And it's actually a very simple system anyway to start with.
Yeah, and so what makes, besides the setting and the time period, what makes the Gaslight special compared to the other Call of Cthulhu books?
Well, the 1890s is a really interesting time, the Victorian period. So you've got the steampunk type technology that's all happening in that period. You have the British Empire spreading out throughout the world. You have, it's the time of Sherlock Holmes, for example. So it's a setting that people can grasp and understand very quickly. You can also then maybe go over to the United States, and you can actually have cowboys and Cthulhu at the same time as well. And we have a book for that too called Down Darker Trails. So it can all fit very well together.
So this includes the rules that you need to know as well as an adventure as well and the
so
settings?
This doesn't actually have a scenario in it, but we do actually have other scenarios that you can play in this time.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What adventures do you have? Can you preview some of them for us for the Gaslight setting?
We have coming for Gaslight, this will be out in due course, we actually have a campaign called The Curse of Seven, which is a full Gaslight campaign, which is going to be very exciting. We also have a community content program called the Miskatonic Repository. Are you familiar with that?
A little bit, yeah.
It's a little bit like the DM's Guild. Yes. So if people are aware of that. So we have a way that people can create material for Call of Cthulhu themselves and publish it. Mm-hmm. And we released a line, which is actually 50 years before this, called Regency Cthulhu, which is actually... at the time of the Regency in England, at the time of the Napoleonic Wars and so on, that has become incredibly popular. Maybe it was that show Bridgerton or whatever.
Yeah.
But we've got many Miskatonic Repository creators have been writing stuff for that setting. We think that now that this is out, we're going to get an explosion of Gaslight scenarios as well.
So there's a lot of places to pick up all sorts of scenarios, even before the official one comes out.
Yeah, the amazing thing about Call of Cthulhu is you can pretty much play it at any time period. So, we were at the Eddie Awards last night,
yes.
And we're very excited that our modern Call of Cthulhu solo adventure, Alone Against the Static, won the Ennie for Best Writing, yep. And it won the Silver Ennie for Best Adventure Long Form. And that is a modern day scenario. Well, when I say modern day, it's in the 1990s, early 1990s. Because it has the characters have mobile phones that can send text messages, but it's before smartphones.
Post beepers, but before iMessage.
Yeah. So that's just an example of another time and place for Call of Cthulhu, which makes it so flexible.
What is your personal favorite setting for Call of Cthulhu?
Look, I think my favorite setting is the meat and potatoes 1920s, which we have a whole pile of material for. Probably the best and most recent thing we've released is the Call of Cthulhu Arkham book. And the city of Arkham is the core setting for Call of Cthulhu. And this book puts you right in Arkham. And it has amazing maps, it has all the characters who live in Arkham. It's a way to base your adventures there and go beyond. And that came out earlier this year as well. We also do fancy leatherette versions of our books. And I can't show you the leatherette version of this because on Thursday when Gen Con started, we had a whole stack of them at our booth, and the hall opened at 10 a.m. and they were sold out at 10:02 a.m.
Here, well, I'll do this. I will find a picture of it, and I'm going to put it right here between us right now so you can take a look at it. It's pretty gorgeous. Take a look at that.
Oh,
just look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. So can people still get that outside of Gen Con?
So when we have the official release, yes, you will be able to buy it. What I really like about that is not only does it look really cool, as people are going to be able to see, it's this strange green colour. And that is because back in the Victorian period, this green colour was a popular colour to bind books in because it was a very vivid green colour. The problem was they actually used arsenic to make this green, so the books were poisonous. They made wallpaper out of it too. It did make being around it quite dangerous. So I thought for a Call of Cthulhu book, picking out this green, which is called Shields Green, was a appropriate choice.
And actually including arsenic in it as well.
It doesn't. I will let everyone know the book itself is not poisonous. No, it is just emulating the colour.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
That's exciting. You'll have so much also beyond just Call of Cthulhu. You'll do so much. RuneScape, or RuneQuest, excuse me. Tell us a little bit about RuneQuest.
So RuneQuest is a Bronze Age fantasy game. It's set in the world of Glorantha, which is one of the richest, deepest fantasy settings that you can come across. And we have a Call of Cthulhu starter set. We also have I'm saying too many of our starter sets. We also have a RuneQuest starter set. And that's a way to introduce you to that game and that world as well. So it's a very deep, rich world, but you can just start with the starter set and gradually discover more and more as you go along. And I did mention Pendragon.
Yeah.
That's another one of our games. And we do have a starter set for that as well. And that's recently come out. And in that you play knights in King Arthur's court. And we got a really good illuminated banner of that one there. And that's recently come out as well.
And that seems like a very interesting story-driven kind of game, Pendragon.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's actually one of my favourite games. So you play knights in that. It's also a generational game. So you can play that over multi-generation. So as your character gets old and retires, their heirs take over and carry the story forward, which is a really interesting approach.
Yeah, there's a very popular computer game that has a similar approach to kind of the European setting where you can kind of see it through the ages. And I always thought this is like a great role-playing version of that.
It is, yeah.
Let me ask you about RuneQuest. So what kind of players would enjoy RuneQuest? Like if you're looking for this, RuneQuest is a game for you.
Okay, so RuneQuest it's a crunchy game, so it is. It's quite detailed, but the rules, if you've played Call of Cthulhu, are very similar. It's a D100 game, so if you roll under your D100 skill, you succeed. But in combat, this is what I really like. combat is dangerous and visceral and exciting. So even if you are a high-level character, you could still be killed by a lucky blow. So we also have hit locations in RuneQuest. All right, so you can lose an arm or a leg.
It's high stakes.
Very high stakes.
Every time you get into combat, everyone's be on the edge of their seat.
So I really like that aspect of the game because it means that every fight you have is meaningful. And maybe you decide, hey, actually we're not going to do this fight. We're going to run away.
Yeah.
Or we're going to come up with some other approach to solve the situation because violence may not always be the correct answer.
Even against lower level enemies, you might still lose a leg.
You just have to understand the stakes. The other thing is that there's a very strong focus on culture and community in the game. So actions have consequences. So if you take a certain action, you are part of a society, part of a culture. So I guess it's kind of an anti-murder hobo type game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, because you have this incredibly rich, detailed setting, there's just so much to explore and learn about. And you can find a part of it that you really like yourself and do things there. And you can just do traditional dungeon bashing type stuff if you really want to as well.
Excellent. Are there any other games or things at Chaosium right now that are exciting to you and want to share with us?
Yeah. Just one second.
Oh, okay. We'll be right back.
So we have some amazing fiction. This is H.P. Lovecraft's The Call of Cthulhu for beginning readers. And this actually tells the story, the classic tale, in anapastic tetrameter, which is the way the verse works. And we now have 3 of these. We have H.P. Lovecraft's The Call of Cthulhu for beginning readers. We have Dagon for beginning readers, and the latest one, I got to dig away again, At the Mountains of Madness for beginning readers.
Open it up, let's take a peek.
All right. So, it is telling the classic tale in anapastic tetrameter.
And it is suitable for kiddos.
They are suitable for children. You could be that strange relative who gives presents like this. We highly recommend it.
I mean, we have everybody poops, so I think that line has been crossed a while ago. So this is right up everybody's alley.
Yeah, so these are really popular, particularly at conventions. People see this and go, ooh, this is really exciting.
I've also found that there's a big crossover between people who love role-playing games and people who are in education. Mm-hmm. And so I know a lot of my friends work in like special education with kiddos with autism, and also just early learners. And so I think this could be a really exciting thing for them to add to their classrooms.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to share with us today before we let you go?
Okay, so we are here at Gen Con, and we don't just have a booth, we've got a special event room as well. And that's over in the Hoosier Corridor, where our room's theme is it's New Year's Eve 1924. And we've got, and maybe you get some pictures of this, we have some cosplayers out the front. And on day one, they started as fresh-faced Call of Cthulhu investigators. And every day, as they experience the mythos a bit more, they're getting a little bit more and more deeply down into the mythos.
To be fair, a lot of us here at the convention are starting to feel that way.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I did see them yesterday. I remember walking by and seeing them. We'll have to go back and do another visit.
Oh, you should go and see them today. Yeah.
That's exciting.
And for a lot.
And for our folks who are watching from home or after the convention, where can they find all the stuff that that Chaosium has?
Come to chaosium.com. That's our website, and you can get all of this stuff there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for talking to us today. Congratulations on the Annie Awards. Congratulations on the book. I'm sure you're so excited, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your con.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Stay tuned here at the Gallant Goblin for the latest from Gen Con 2024. For now, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.